Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
It's
Andy.
a real pleasure to be here at
Yeah.
Web Summit, interviewing interesting people doing
Thank you
interesting
so
things.
much, yes. Same
And
here.
in the age of social networking, there are a lot of good things about it, but there's some negative things going on in social networks, and it's wonderful for me to hear that somebody's actually researching and trying to do something about it, and not just an app, but looking at the cause of it and how to really go after the root of it.
Exactly.
So, why don't you just tell us your name
Yeah,
and what
I'm
you do for
Mohammad.
short, and then we'll get more into it. But just give us a short intro to yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mohammad Hajarian, and I'm a university professor at University College of Madrid. I am doing my Marie Curie postdoctoral research right now, which is funded by Connect Plus and our university. We are working on preventing online problems that social media can cause in human life. Currently, we have problems such as online hostility, fake news, misinformation.
And are those the big three problems on social networks?
Yeah. Yes, and we are doing research on that, but not to detect these problems, but to prevent these problems. Because
Gotcha.
prevention is always better than the.
Now let me ask you the $1,000,000 question. Does Facebook care what you're doing?
No, absolutely not.
No, go on. Like, would they prefer to have these problems run free?
I
Why don't they
think
care
so.
about what you're doing?
I don't think so, because they have their own research team and they focus on what they are interested.
Yeah.
I don't think they are currently focusing on these problems, which is very important, and many of them started from Facebook. But
Interesting.
Yes.
So Facebook has their own research team,
Yeah.
but who's going to use your research?
So for our research actually is for all research community and industry. Absolutely, they can come and check our research. Researchers from Facebook might come and see, but I don't know really if they are interested to continue that work or not. Previously, me and with my colleagues, we work on incel problems, incels, involuntary celibates that I told you earlier.
Yeah.
It's about the
No, it's a terrorist group.
terrorist group that they do. They attack women, and it was started from social media like Facebook actually.
So they organized on social media.
Yes,
So
yes.
without social media, those attacks would never
Yes,
happen.
Alec Minassian actually was start this attack by posting a post on Facebook that I'm going to start this attack on Facebook. So actually, these problems are there, but I don't know how serious they are to think about them. So we published the paper in a Springer, it's a very good journal, and maybe 3 years ago, and I also continue that work in other conferences and there, but I still never heard of, for example, Facebook or other social media that to be interested.
So what did
to
your
find.
research find about these people organizing attacks? Like, what did you figure out with that research?
Yeah, so this is for my previous work, but we find what type of people are more linked to these problems, and by finding them before performing any attack or before doing anything, there might be some solutions to provide to them, so to prevent this. We identify the type of people that could be potentially be
So
incels.
some guy's about to post, I'm going to do an attack somewhere, it's going to be awful. Are you saying that you can catch this person before he even announces the attack based on his personality that you find online?
Yes, of course. Even before posting anything, we can understand that this person has the potential to be incels. So yes.
So what's an example of something that would give away that they have the potential to be a terrorist?
Not a terrorist. We are here talking about the incels, involuntary celibates. So there are some, at least they are celibate, they are singles, single man, single only man.
Yeah.
We know that, and some other criteria that it is in our paper. If you our audience are interested, they can read it. It is on Springer. It is called SNFL data set, and it's application for incel detection. So if they read that, they will learn
So
more.
how do you detect incel?
It's an algorithm
Yeah.
that we describe in the article, solutions of that.
So
But
what's something that algorithm is looking for?
the feature that each person has and their likes, their interests. We work on previously we introduced fuzzy like, which has two types: implicit fuzzy like and explicit fuzzy like.
So some of our audience may not be familiar with fuzzy logic.
Yeah.
Do you think you can maybe give us a simple example to understand?
Yeah, of course. It's actually it is described in another article in Elsevier journal. That's about in a good journal like Computers and Human Behavior, and that's about how people, for example, in implicit fuzzy like, most movements show the user interest. This is implicit. For explicit fuzzy like, we develop a like bar that using that like bar, people can show their interest, how much they are interested and they are not
When
interested.
I click I like something
Yeah,
on
like,
Instagram,
yeah.
that's an explicit like.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I look at 100 pictures of girls on Instagram, is that like a fuzzy I like? Even
Yeah,
though I didn't click
it
like?
could be, yeah. Before we did it with mouse, but if you want to translate it to a touch or most a finger movement, yes, exactly.
So I don't have to click the like button, but you just see
No.
by the kinds of things that I'm looking at, you're like, he probably likes that.
Seeing or moving your hand around the photo. Because fuzzy
So
like is
now
about that.
that I'm moving my hand around on the photo.
Yeah.
That's a little scary to me.
Yeah, moving your hand around
Yeah.
any photo, or keeping your hand on some part of the photo.
How do you know that?
Yes, easy. It can be catched by a computer programming.
So do all the major social media networks
I
capture
don't
that
know
stuff?
that. I
Like,
don't
oh,
know
look,
that,
I
but
zoom
they
in on
can.
this girl I have a crush on. It knows that.
They can, and this is what we did in this algorithm to detect these problems. Yeah. Anyway, this was for my previous works. My new work, which is now funded by Marie Curie, is about preventing this problem.
Yeah.
Similar to this, but these days we are more focusing on misinformation, online hostility. For example, people in social media might send hostile messages to each other and messages that they don't like. So we try to prevent that even before that happens. And this time we are using gamification in a funful manner.
So give us an example of how this might actually feel for a user on social media. So I'm sitting in my basement, I'm about to write something real angry to somebody else. What happens?
Yeah. So in that case, we develop a new algorithm to rank people based on their politeness. And if someone is a polite person, it is allowed to send their messages to everybody. But if we detect that might be not unpolite, we don't allow them to send messages to some people that we know they might be maybe not very.
So you're screening who they talk to based on some score?
No. It's not a screening. It's just some ranking that it is calculated behind, and then we allow or we prevent a user to interact.
So let's say I wrote some bad stuff online, and now I have a 10 out of 10 rudeness rating. Am I not allowed to talk to anybody, or do you say, hey, that guy can take it, you can send it to him, but that girl, or girl, that guy too, he's a little bit more sensitive, so the 10 out of 10 rudeness ratings, we block it from him.
Yeah.
So now you're ranking me based on my politeness, but you're also ranking somebody else based on their ability to receive difficult or uncomfortable messages?
Yes, exactly. So people, we don't do that. I mean, we rank people to not be able to send to other people, but we don't say you are. Your tolerance is high, so we send you all messages. We allow the user to explicitly define himself or herself. That is it okay for him or for her to receive this kind of messages or not?
So I as a user say how sensitive I am to receiving messages, and I can say, hey, send it all to me, I don't care. I can say, I don't want to see the bad stuff. So I'm defining what I receive, but then you're cutting off what certain people can say.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
So now,
you need to do the last question because we have 2 minutes. She said that they did.
Great. So my last question is, this sounds really cool that you're curating and kind of making a more polite environment, sort of moderating real time, but then there's also like a bad side to this coin. People start to wonder, at least I start to wonder, are you censoring? At what point are you sort of violating free speech?
No, we are not censoring at all. We are just, we are regulating user behavior and communication.
But I have a 10 out of 10 rudeness rating, but I still think that that my message needs to go out to the world, and I have my civil liberties, and I say, why can't I speak? Why are you censoring me?
Yeah.
How do you respond to that?
Exactly. If all the users are okay with hearing your voice, it's okay. Because even if you have a 10 out of 10 score, they can hear you.
So you're saying you didn't you're not the one censoring me. The users
The
chose to
users,
censor you.
exactly.
We just gave them the way to
Exactly.
block your mouth.
Exactly.
It's like the way that if I have a door to my house,
Yes.
you
Yes.
sold me the door, but the users closed that door so they
Yeah.
don't have to hear me yelling from outside.
Exactly. And that's a democracy.
I love what you're doing. This is super
Thank you.
interesting, and
Thank
I
you so much.
when I think about all the problems in this world and like how social media helps to organize them, I think it's very comforting to know that somebody's actually out there at the root of where these bad ideas start and
Yeah.
how they germinate, and really trying to solve it before it gets bad.
Exactly.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it was great talking to you.
It's so great having you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
again.
much.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you. Thank you.